I got a phone call at my studio and offices in New York. George Shin and I shared a banker from NCNB back in those days. And she called me, a wonderful lady, and she said, Alex, I have another client in Charlotte who has just gotten the franchise for the new NBA team in Charlotte, and he would like to talk to you about maybe discussing the uniforms and the team colors. And I said, bring it on. George asked me, he said, Alec, can we afford you? And I started thinking about it, and it was like, you know, what good is money in Connecticut where I lived if you can't buy Carolina barbecue? And so I, after some deliberation, went to George and said, okay, here's the deal. I'll design the uniforms for you for 5 pounds of Carolina barbecue a month to be FedExed to me in Connecticut.
I thought it was kind of neat. They brought in a well-known designer, Alexander Julian, and suddenly teal was the color of the day, teal and purple. Holy Moses.
He said, now, if possible, we'd like you to use the colors that our great architects have chosen for our new arena. There's Carolina blue and white. That's easy. I'm from Chapel Hill. And there's teal. And I said, wait a minute, George, do you know that teal is my signature color? The color teal that is my signature is not the teal that the architects chose for the stadium. The teal that they chose is what I would call a bottle green. And so I said, Mr. Shin, I think that's okay, but it's a little close to the Celtics. And I know it's a little risky, I know it's a little pushy, I know it's always a little scary to be doing something that's not out there. But my recommendation is that we use teal and purple for the uniforms. And he agreed.
I think that when you go out and get a nationally known designer to design your uniform and pick your colors, it's just the natural thing to do, to have him come to town and with one of your players introduce the uniform.
You know, where have you ever heard of this before, that you have like a uniform reveal and an elaborate thing? And Alexander was great, you know, he did a great job. You know, it was a stage and a press conference and all these, you know, fashion icons were there and they're taking pictures. So I ate it up and did what I was supposed to do and acted like a model. I don't know if it worked, but people said it was fun and we had a good time.
And yes, we did start a trend, but it's one of many that the Hornets started.
To see the uniforms were pretty unique. You know, the jerseys had stripes, but the shorts didn't.
One of the radical things was not having the jersey and the shorts match. And to me, that made it sportswear, where, you know, guys don't wear little outfits. You know, you have a pair of shorts or a pair of pants and you put a shirt with it. And we even played around with doing it contrast color, but kept it with the same original teal.
Alex had some really defined ideas of, you know, of a look that could look appropriate and athletic and masculine, but also stylish and different.
When we got the uniforms for the very first time, we really didn't test them out. So we go to play a preseason game in New Jersey and the shorts are flared out and the jerseys are too long.
I mean, the shorts were out to here, the shirts were too big, everything had to be taken in. They didn't know how to do sizes and how they fit and whatever. So, you know, I always think if you look good, you'll play good. You know, at least you'll think that way.
And all I get is phone calls saying, hey, we need to get a tailor to the practice site tomorrow.
Without telling me, Kelly and the whole team, and you can ask MUGGSY or Kelly or any of these guys, went in to my tailor in Charlotte and had all of their shorts taken in before the first home game because they thought they were going to get laughed at.
We really liked the colors of the uniform. It was the pleats. We thought, okay, you're getting a little too formal for basketball, and we didn't know, what they would look like. We knew the shorts weren't long like they are today. We were like, okay, we got short shorts. We're gonna have pleats. We're gonna get laughed at throughout the league.
See, look here, man. I thought we're supposed to have uniforms, not Daisy Dukes, because they're a little riding up a little high here.
And they were shorter shorts. We didn't have the long drawers. They were shorter shorts so they could show your legs, which I had some nice legs during that time.
Looking back now, they were so sweet. They're so sweet with the purple and the teal.
I didn't like the material. The color was fine, but I didn't particularly like the material. It was kind of stiff and rough.
The material, when it got wet, got very heavy. It drooped and dragged. They were not comfortable to play in, but I like the color, still do.
Well, we had to get used to it, especially then the pinstripes came. So we had to get used to, okay, well, this is a little different.
But they actually looked better on than we thought. So, we didn't have a choice. We went out warm, played hard, so they grew on us, to say the least.
I was like, wow, I remember getting a call and they said we had Alexander Julian designing our uniforms. And, me and Kelly had played together, for 3 years up in Detroit, and, he was coming in, he was modeling the uniforms around, and it was definitely something different. So I said, Charlotte's gonna be a special place.
And for whatever reason, teal and purple at the time were very different from most people's color schemes, and it caught on.
It was a uniform that we really grew accustomed very quickly. I mean, Alexander Julian did an excellent job with that. And, we was one of the only team in the league that was, sporting the pinstripes.
And the pinstripes were really cool. I don't think anybody had ever done that with basketball before.
I tell you, when you think of pinstripes, you think of the Yankees, but it was something unique about those colors, the purple and teal. Some people looked at them as soft colors. Some people looked at them as very stylish colors, and I think our game kind of brought some excitement to the team where it made that color, it made that color a fashion statement. It really did. And so you saw a lot of young people wearing the purple and teal.
And the kids loved it. It was one of the biggest selling uniforms at that time.
It's also very unique, and the pinstripes and the teal and the purple, very unique. It was difficult to find get companies to make the shoes to go with the uniform, but I like the purple and teal.
Loved them, purple and teal. Everywhere we went in the country, whether it was LA, Phoenix, Portland, people loved the color of our uniforms, the teal and purple, and they couldn't get enough of it. I think that we were like up there, like number 1 or 2 or 3 in sales for a long time.
It seemed to really catch on. Everybody loved that purple and teal, and it helped that we had great players to go out there, and to promote that. And when you have players like Larry Johnson and Alonzo, they're guys that people, you want to buy their jerseys and they think the colors are cool, and for some reason it just caught on, and people were wearing Hornets gear everywhere.
Those uniforms it was, if I can say it, it was badass, man. I mean, it's the colors just, it gave you a good feel. It was a popular color at uniform at the time, and to be able to get out there in that that teal and that white, and then in some cases just the all teal. I mean, I can put these colors with anything, and I can feel good about it. I can look good.
And even to this day, I still have some of my old Charlotte Hornets stuff. If I pull it out, people want to take it from me because of the colors. Yeah, and that's another reason why I wanted to stay in Charlotte, because of those uniforms, man. The prettiest uniforms in the league.
It's that whole, how do we make ourselves different? How do we make this not just an expansion team, but something different? And they wanted to take it to the next level, and the uniforms did that.
But you never missed that the Charlotte Hornets were playing, because they had this iconic design, coloration, and suddenly teal was the it color, and that was because of the Charlotte Hornets.